Hi everyone, this is Scrappy Kathy and I'm so excited. Thank you for visiting my channel. This one's going to be a long one, I think. It's going to take a minute because it's a scavenger hunt. And we're working off this list, and I will publish that list in my description just for your reference. But it has flare, cut files or a die, thread, pattern paper, themed paper, not fall or Halloween for an extra point. I'm using Easter. Sequins, an extra point if you make a shaker pocket. I've made one of my fake shaker pockets. It's made like a shaker pocket, but it doesn't shake. So, or it shakes, but it doesn't move. And I don't expect my scrapbook pages to be shaken a lot, so it doesn't bother me at all to do my shaker pockets like this. Felt, puffy stickers, acrylic, stencil, mist, a cat, stickles, tissue paper, buttons, enamel dots or Nuvo drops, a toothpick, something made of metal, brads, 3D flowers, orange, doily, tag, text print, an extra point if it's from a book, ribbon, vellum, stick pin, cupcake liner, embossing or debossing, a black bird, a pumpkin or a gourd, or a leaf, and a leaf. So the idea is to get as many of these as you can, and I'm going to try to get them all. So I've got, as you can see, I have them checked off. I'm also using this sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch by Lisa Sikorski, and I'm sorry that I can't tell you which one this is. If you visit Scrap-A-Sketch on Facebook, there will be albums set up, and you'll see this one. I just printed this off because I love this sketch and thought I could use it for the strip of photos I have today. So I'll show you, here's my little tray of stuff and a kind of a button jar, and I've got some inks and a stencil. So let's get busy. I'm going to use as the long element across here, instead of that being pattern paper, I'm going to use this strip of 4 photos. It's a photo of Ava and me getting goofy, putting crackers in front of our eyes. I saw her doing it, so I decided to do it, and it was just a goofy photo, and I filtered it 4 different ways just for a little bit different look. I intended to do just 3, but I couldn't make up my mind which 3. I wanted to use all 4, so I did. And my cut file is going to be this fence. This went with a scene in one of the Creative Cuts Club kits, and I didn't use it. So I have it now, and I thought it might look cute. There's absolutely nothing in here that's going to have any rhyme or reason. I'm kind of mixing and matching colors and patterns and themes and all kinds of stuff. So I want to do my stenciling kind of right up. I'm going to have that strip sort of in the center. So I'm going to do some stenciling here, and I'm going to mix a couple of Distress Oxide inks. This one is Twisted Citron, and I'm gonna kind of just stick it out there. That green color is kind of a theme that's gonna be repeated, and that's kind of a, when I want a page to kind of adhere to something of a design, and yet I still want to like smash a lot of different elements onto the page. It can get to look kind of busy and messy, and I actually want to do right by Lisa's beautiful design. So what I'm doing, my trick I'm using is, even though I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff on here, it's all going to kind of be, or a lot of it's going to be in the same color palette. So that's my stencil. And now I'm going to start doing the paper layers. I'm thinking this pink strip is going to go in, you know, for that kind of vertical strip that's back there. And for the underlying this kind of inner square, I'm just going to doodle that on. So we'll see how that works. This, I think, is going to work. You can see the white. This is an Easter paper. It was in an 8.5 by 11 pad or stack of papers that I got a million years ago. And I'm going to do the green, the little Easter bunnies. I'm going to put a strip over to the left. My strip wasn't wide enough to span the whole set of photos. So I'm going to do one strip on the top left and one strip on the bottom right. And I'm going to put it on here so that you really can't tell that those are bunny rabbits, or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So there's that, and I'll do this. Okay, so I've got that. And it doesn't quite, I want enough of the fence pickets to show so that you can tell it's a fence. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm not, well, okay. I've also got, there is behind the photo strip, there is this, in Lisa's sketch, there's this white piece of paper. That's going to be my embossing. So I took a torn piece of photo paper, ran it through my embossing folder, and I'm using it on the debossed side, the side that sticks up rather than being pushed down. But embossing or debossing works, and I think this is a little bit more interesting look. I'm going to kind of paste that onto the back and now put some tape across there. And I left the tears because I kind of liked that look. Let's see. I want to get this up onto that. I need to get it straight. Okay. And if I feel like some of these things aren't showing up enough, I can always pull out my trusty pen and doodle on it. Okay, so I have no idea where I'm going to put the flare. I knew I was going to do that there, and I was going to put this here, but I have no idea where anything else is going to go. So I'm going to let myself be guided somewhat by the sketch. I do have this text. This is a page pulled out of my old calculus book, and I like using that. I've got a, there's a ribbon requirement, and So I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple pieces of ribbon and do these tags. And I'm going to kind of maybe put them behind here because I think that would help this white show up a little bit better. And I'm kind of just going to, I know this green doesn't match the green of the tag. In fact, it like severely clashes, but I'm hoping that the pink kind of ties some of this together. If it doesn't, you'll just know it's one of my pages because, you know, nothing matches. And that's not a huge concern of mine. I did pull a lot of things from the different spectrums of the green universe here. Let me kind of cut this and I can make another tag out of that piece. Let me see if I can get my tweezers to lift this up. Whoops, my tag came untied. I didn't pull it very tight because I don't want to tear the thin paper that's in that book. That textbook is, gosh, 50 years old. I bought it used, so it's probably, the book itself is probably older than that, but I used it 50 years ago. Okay, let me do a little bit of glue. I kind of like that side of it, but if I do a little glue there, it's gonna kind of stay. Let me do that and kind of see if I can get it down under there so that it's also under the fence. Okay, and now I just mashed it down, mashed the glue down. So this, I thought I would let stay up a little higher. Oops. Oh, that's a mess. Let's there. We'll try this again, folks. And I'm gonna let this go higher, but I'm still gonna cut some of the bottom of it off to make it a little bit easier to deal with. And I'll put some adhesive on it and maybe do it kind of like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna cut these a little bit. Okay, and that this ribbon is not glued down. Okay, now I thought I wanted to put the maybe the doily or part of the doily kind of down here, kind of like that. I'm gonna cut it down and put it right there and let the pink show through it. But I'm going to do, see, Lisa's got this floral cluster here with a circle. I'm gonna let that circle be my my shaker pocket, I'm going to put some strips of foam behind it, and I'm going to add some other circle-y bits behind it. What I did for the shaker pocket was I cut 2 circles of equal size, and then I put a small circle in the inside the larger circle to make an open hole. And then I used foam tape to kind of glue them together to leave a space. And then I just squiggled glue into the space and dropped sequins from my tub onto it. And then I shook it back, and so everything that stuck was great. And then I filled in any holes that were left. And then I added some more, so it looked like the sequins were falling out of the sides there. And I left some holes around and about. I've got this flare. I left some holes in that so that I can do some flowers or stars or buttons or something kind of inside this. That's not what I'm doing with this flare. It's actually going under the pocket. And anything that I put on, there was a requirement for a 3D flower. So I have this little purple flower that's made of ribbon that's been kind of rolled into a rosette, and it's got green ribbon as its leaf. So I thought that might be cute, kind of bridging from the shaker pocket over to the flare. And I've got this black and white polka dot bird that I kind of wanted to put somewhere over here. I decided to cut the bird out of polka dot paper rather than solid paper. This is not straight, so I'm going to straighten it up. There we go. I'll do that, and then I'll have the butterfly. The felt requirement, I'm either going to use both the yellow and the pink felt butterfly, or I'm going to, what did I just drop on there? I'm just going to use the pink one, and I'm going to superimpose a punched butterfly on top. Maybe I'll do it kind of down. Oh, I lost my butterfly. So I punched it out of junk mail, and there's this gold on one side, but the other side of the junk mail is white, and it has this text. So that might even satisfy the text requirement if I didn't have that page from my calculus book. Okay, so let's do that. And I thought maybe here's where I could use the toothpick, maybe kind of coming out. Let's break the toothpick. Oops, I broke it kind of unevenly there. But maybe I will put this guy this way on some foam tape, and then glued to the paper, I'll do, or maybe to in between the foam. Hey, how about that? Okay, let's do that. These will be the antennae for this guy. I was going to do it down my original thought was to use it down the middle, as the body, but this is much better, right? Okay, there we go. And I'll mash that down. And yes, I know this little guy has antennae, but he's riding on the back of the pink one who has these little straight toothpick antennae. Now, I've got a bit of a dilemma in how to use the cupcake wrapper. I thought I might use it as a holder for a flare, but I'm not sure which way to use it. Maybe I cut it in half. And put a little bit of tape to kind of keep it sort of scrunchy like. I'll lift this and have it come out right there. And then maybe that's where I'll put this orange flare. And I have, there's a puffy sticker requirement, and I have some puffy butterflies that have orange and pink. So I could pick one of those to put on top of this flare or off to the side of it, because I'm putting the flare a little bit to the left so that it's in an uninteresting part of the photo. Then let me do, actually, this is where I'm going to put my pumpkin. I have a, and in this composition, this pumpkin is apropos of absolutely nothing. I'm going to take the back from it. It is a pink pumpkin from Bramble Fox, and if I can work it, I'll make it kind of part of this little cluster there. I'll have it under the photo, and this is there. Let me put a bit of foam under the butterfly here. So I'm getting in pink, orange, and green as my main colors in the composition. Okay, this is a puffy sticker that has a clear border, so the tape showed through. So let me kind of do that. Okay, I like that. I'll keep those aside. I had a requirement for a button, and I have this little tiny flower button in this little bag. This is my kind of bowl of buttons. And I'm going to put this little green button over here in this same little cluster, just to add that green color over there, because it's kind of heavy on the pink and orange. Now, another acrylic piece I have that kind of, I've got this leaf which is that leaf is actually a sequin, but I've also got, and there's the leaves that are made of ribbon on this flower, but I've got this acrylic leaf that came from Scrapping Reflections. This is Bramble Fox, and Scrapping Reflections is Sandy Reversky, who's did the retreat, hosted the retreat that I just attended that you've all seen me scrap about. I've got this little brad, which is green. I'm going to maybe hold off in doing that. I've got, what kind of pen are they calling this? A stick pen there. And I'll add this last. I kind of want to do some green thread underneath my pink flare. So I've got flare here, and it might be nice to have one over here on the other side of that, and that will kind of reinforce. And I'm going to throw everything out of whack by using blue enamel dots, but I do have lime green chartreuse stickles. So I'm going to put this kind of right there, and I'm going to stick it down with this flare. This is from the green mix, this is from the orange mix, and this is from the pink mix of the October release at Dotting About Flare. And those sequins are a years in the making. It's just kind of whatever's left on the table kind of thrown in, and I keep it in the blue and green family, although there's a few purple ones in there. So I'm going to kind of pick that thread apart. And let's see if my green stick pin makes any sense whatsoever in this butterfly's body. Maybe if I can stick it down through so that the top of the pin looks like the butterfly's head. I kind of stuck it down into the cardstock, I think. But there, okay. So, yay, that worked. Now, let's see. Vellum, I need vellum, and I have a piece of vellum here that has the stars on it from the Let's Wander collection of Vicki Boutin. And I think I'm just going to cut one vellum star because I'm getting a lot of stuff on the page, and at this point, if the requirement is just for one, that's all I'm going to do. And it might kind of be interesting. Well, let's do it up here, maybe. And I'm going to do a very tiny amount of adhesive so that it doesn't warp. But if it does, that just adds to the dimension. Okay, there's a black cat requirement, and there are no papers in this collection that have a black cat, but they're right here on, well, at least not left. This is an old 2013 collection. So I'm gonna cut this little guy out and kind of sneak it in someplace that it's not a major attraction. I feel okay doing oddball stuff on pages. if I've got silly kid photos. So that's kind of my bar there. Let's see, I want this to be sticking into here. Let me put a little bit of glue on it so if I get it in the right place, I can leave it there. I kind of need a spot that I don't have any of the foam. Okay, I think that's gonna work. And then I thought I might do a tiny enamel dot there. And if that's the only enamel dot I put on there, it's probably acceptable, although I'm gonna go ahead and add one here and another one maybe right up there. Different size, a little bit different color. I think I have a sequin that fell out, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it down as though it fell out all the way over here. And those enamel dots, the reason I decided to go with those is that they look similar enough to the sequins that are in there that they could have been kind of part of that mix. And I've got another little sequin here that might kind of also want to go here, and I don't want to leave it. Okay, so it's kind of holographic. This little guy right here, where should that go? This is kind of being neglected up here, and I could make it kind of part of a trio of things there. So that would work. Let me go ahead, and this is not how they showed me how to do it in scrap school, but more often than not, even back then, I did stuff. So that's just got a little bit of a green leaf, and it's kind of sticking out there with no particular purpose other than to be the brad that I need in this composition. Okay, so I needed tissue paper, and I was thinking that some tissue paper I've got this little guy up here and I've got this here, so I thought maybe I could do it, well, maybe even down here. Let's do that. I'm gonna just tear a piece, scrunch it up, and then kind of make it a little bit thinner and sort of pleat it. Kind of like you would do a rosette or a cupcake liner, as the case may be. Let me just stop it right there. I'm gonna kind of trim it down a little bit, kind of unofficially or unprofessionally. I'm just fanning it out so that it's a bit like a rosette, but I'm just going to staple it. And this is not the staple that I'm going to use as my metal thing. The brad is metal, and the cover plate of the flare is metal, but I kind of didn't want to work it that way. I don't want to do any twofers or stacking points. I'm going to do it the way I used to do Calvin ball. And this, of course, you know, is my jam, this whole Calvin ball type scrapping where, you know, you're doing a scavenger hunt for stuff. This is kind of I'm gonna have to put it up a little bit further up in there, and because I want it to show, but I didn't necessarily want the toothpick to be underneath it. I'd like the toothpick to be over it. I'm actually going to do some more of this and have it come. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add in maybe some fall leaves behind this fence. Do you think that's gonna work? I just want the fence to show more, and I thought with a couple of these that might look nice, might lift it up, and it adds some color up to this section. I don't often have the situation that that I need more. But in this case, I kind of think I do. Do that. Lift that up, and I'll let that stay flat. And then maybe I'll do one more orange leaf. Let's see. I'm not gonna make you watch me glue that down. I'll just leave it there. Okay. I do think I need another leaf of some sort over here. So let me see if I can fit that in. Let's see. I'm going to cut it in half. This is a fussy cut leaf that has now been cut a little bit more. Okay, so that works. That gives us, it kind of goes through. And do you think maybe I need another one over here? It looks like it. Maybe like that. And maybe one little one right down in here, like this little piece of that. That actually doesn't look too good there. So let's look for another, oh, how about a blue one? Right here, and we'll maybe kind of do it like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some of the small things. I've already got the enamel dots on there. I've got stickles, and I've got my mist, which I'm going to use as splatters. I'm just going to do, let me shake this up. This is Diane Reevely Shimmer Spray in Fresh Lime. And I'm just going to kind of add a few sprinkles. In 3 places. And now these stickles, I honestly don't know where I'm going to put those. How about maybe one little, I guess I should have checked to make sure that these are still working, and this one appears not to be. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. Let's see if I can dig into that hole. And it's not coming out of the little tip isn't coming out. So it's glued in there. I haven't used this in years. Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one of my push pins. One of my, okay, that kind of pushes it down. And let's see if that causes it to come out. Okay, there's a little glob of it right there. I'm going to put another glob of it right there. Oh, that's a glob, all right. And another glob right here. Now, my experience with that is that it will kind of shape itself. It's not as well behaved as Nouveau drops, but so I'll put 3 there and there, and then I'll add three over here. Okay, I think I'm done. I won't go through the list with you again, but I think I have everything on there. All 31 items plus all the extra points. So I'm happy with it. It's a strange little page, but it's perfect for crazy kiddo kind of photos. So thank you for watching, and be sure and catch everybody else who's on this scavenger hunt hop. I'm sure there are going to be some really fun pages. I know Ronnie Sue Scrapper was working on hers the other day, and she messaged me, so I can't wait to see what she's got in store. But this has been fun. I'll see you next time we have a fun hop. Bye.